video, we are going to answer this question on how does the Philippine culture view women and the LGBT.
Go.
According to Marx's philosophy, culture and social institutions are shaped by the underlying economic structure of society. In the case of the Philippines, the cultural views on women and the LGBT community can influence by the socio-economic condition and power dynamics within the country. In the context of the Philippine culture, the influence of traditional gender roles and conservative views on women and the LGBT community can be seen as a reflection on the patriarchal and heteronormative structures that have historically prevailed.
The views of women and LGBT community in the Philippine culture are diverse and complex, influenced by combination of traditional values, religious beliefs, colonial history, and involving social attitudes in the Philippines is a diverse country with very fine perspective across different regions and communities. Like for example, in our church, the views of woman and LGBT is different compared to the other churches. Like sa Amua, ang babae sa Amua is bawal siya magpastor. Bali, walay pastora sa Amua. Only men they become a pastor. And also they should formal, dapat formal sila the way manuot o the way they talk and the way po sila maglingkod. Dapat formal jud. And also the LGBT community, ang views nila sa among church is lahi pod. They are considered, if you are a bakla, tumboy, in our church, you are considered na kana makasala bitaw, you are considered, this is considered as a sin. While in colonial history, dating panahon, lahi pod ang views sa mga babae o mga LGBT sa unang panahon. Like ang mga babae sa una is lahi ang views karon. Dati ang mga babae sa una is they just serve as a housewife. Bali sa bahay lang sila. Tsaka they are not allowed to vote like sa politika. Hindi sila pwedeng magboto at hindi din sila pwedeng magdagan sa politika. Bali karon lahi na pud siya karon kay ang mga babae pwede na magdagan sa politika. Bali na sila katungod. No? Tapos ang mga LGBTQ sa una sa colonial history, they are pag malaman ka na bakla ka, papahirapan ka sa dating panahon. So it is mean the views of a woman and LGBTQ in our country, it is mean it diverse and bali sari-sari at saka komplikado. No, kasi iba-iba man ang mga pananaw. Bali sa ibang relihiyon at ibang kultura, iba din ang pananaw nila sa mga LGBT at woman, iba din sa atin.
In the past years, traditional gender roles plays a significant role in the Philippine culture. Women were often expected to prioritize their roles as wives, mother, and caregivers within the family. Their participation in public and professional spheres was limited, and they faced societal expectations that restricted their opportunities for education and career advancement. Similarly, the perception of LGBT community was largely influenced by conservative values, and there was limited visibility and acceptance. Traditional beliefs and religious teachings, particularly those influenced by Catholicism, have shaped some attitudes towards homosexuality and transgender identities. While some segment of society may hold conservative views, there are also instances of acceptance and support for LGBT community, particularly within indigenous cultures and pre-colonial traditions. With this, we are really blinded for a long time because of our culture, tradition, and especially for Catholic religion and some other religions that bases on the creation of our God. We believe that God only created man and woman who were presented as Adam and Eve in the book of Genesis. And I cannot imagine how hard it is for our LGBTQ to share what they really are. And that's why people closest their belief and some did not accept the gender identity of other people. Some discriminated them as how the way they act, they wear clothes and speak. Some labeled them as sinners and cannot be accepted by God. But in today's generation, we are more open in our society through the help of social media. As well, we are able to cope more information and knowledge about the gender identity of others. And nowadays, LGBTQ and women's is not just acting as what they were used to be called. Because they exceeded the expectation of society, they managed to show their power, capabilities, and share their experiences and excel in a lot of platforms. And now, they are fully acknowledged in our community.
Today, Philippine culture has witnessed significant changes in how women and the LGBT community are viewed. Women's roles have expanded beyond the traditional domestic sphere. Women now actively participate in various fields including politics, business, science, arts, and sports. There is a growing recognition of contribution and capabilities of women and the efforts of being made to promote gender equality, empower women, and challenge gender stereotypes. Ngayon ay nasaksihan ng kultura ng Pilipinas ang pagbabago ng pagtingin sa mga babae at LGBT community. Na-expand ito dahil sa influence ng feminism at modernization. Kaya ang mga babae ngayon ay active sa pag-participate sa fields gaya ng politics, business, education, science, arts, and sports.
Similarly, attitudes towards LGBT community have become more diverse and accepting. There is a greater visibility of LGBT individuals and advocacy for their rights and recognition has gained momentum. Pride events, LGBT organizations, and support networks have emerged, providing platforms for education, awareness, and community building. Legal advancement such as anti-discrimination laws and recognition of same-sex partners in some areas reflects the changing societal attitudes towards the LGBT community.
In regard to LGBT individuals, intolerance and discrimination used to be more pronounced in Philippine culture and society. Homosexuality was long considered taboo and same-sex relationships were invisible or stigmatized. The entrenched influence of Catholicism contribute the conservative attitudes that did not fully accept or understand diverse sexual organization and gender identities. However, boosted by globalization and access to information, perspectives are changing faster and urbanized areas and younger generations. Organized advocacy efforts have helped combat discrimination and lobby for LGBT rights, while same-sex marriage is still not legal nationwide. Tolerance and coming out is steadily becoming more acceptable. So, ang LGBT dahil sa una na kay full sila of kanang discrimination and sa una kay gina-stigmatize sila means na kanang disgrace pagid sila sa society. And then, of course, ang mga Filipinos magad kay Catholics or ano, then so dili pa kay siya approve sa ano gyud. So, after how many years, like right now sa atong society, medyo dawat na siya in terms of mga Philippine TV kay natin mga drag race, so gina-push na ang SOGI bills and so.
For example, ana is Pride March. Ang Pride March kay gina-held din siya sa month of June, which is tanan mga LGBTQ community is mag-parade sila para ano ilahang rights o ilahang pride like ang mga LGBTQ kay nagbuhat sila og kanang advocacy para mawala ang discrimination sa ubang tao.
The view of the LGBT community in the Philippine culture has undergone changes in recent years, although attitude can still vary. While there is growing acceptance and support, conservative views influenced by religious beliefs may still exist. For example, some religious institutions and individuals hold traditional interpretation that consider same-sex relationship as morally unacceptable. However, there has been a visible shift toward greater acceptance and inclusivity. Pride events, LGBT organization, and advocacy efforts have been gained momentum, providing platforms for education, awareness, and community building. Furthermore, certain areas in Philippines have implemented anti-discrimination laws and organized same-sex partnership, demonstrating progress towards LGBT rights. So, over the years, the judgment of the people evolved. So, nakagain na ang mga LGBT members o kanang respect and acknowledge sa ubang tao, but still naaga po yung mga judgment na makuha nila gikan sa mga conservative na mga tao. Ang isa sa mga dahilan nga nung nagkahinay-hinay na og kadawat og acceptance ani kay because of sa ilahang mga campaign at mga advocacy sa mga LGBT programs. So moong niabot na sa time na medyo na-accept na siya o kanang dili acceptable, considerable na siya sa ato ang community ba, bali dili na siya matawag na deviant behavior kay nagkahinay-hinay naman o kanang ang utok sa mga tao ba nagkahinay na nag-adapt because of our society changes na to. So aside napoy sila ka na gi-publish na mga anti-discrimination law. That's why gyapon karon until now gyapon ang perspective sa mga religious people o ang mga tao na naga-accept na karon sa mga LGBT. So wala pa gyapon jud siya na solve na as in.
However, it is important to acknowledge that challenges and disparities still exist. Discrimination, stigma, and violence against women and the LGBT community persist in certain contexts. Religious beliefs, cultural norms, and conservative perspective continue to influence some segments of society. Overcoming these challenges and achieving full equality and acceptance remains an ongoing process. So nevertheless, it is important to address the discrimination, stigma, and violence against women and the LGBT community. It is important to note that society is dynamic, and not all segments of society are equally influenced by religious beliefs, cultural norms, or conservative perspectives.
Overall, Philippine culture's view of women and LGBT community has undergone significant transformation. There is a greater recognition of the rights and capabilities of women, as well as a growing acceptance and understanding of diverse gender and sexual orientations. Efforts towards gender equality and LGBT rights continue to shape social attitudes, fostering inclusivity and empowering individuals of all genders and sexual orientations. The Philippines has a long history of patriarchal culture, with women traditionally being seen as subordinate to men. However, in recent years, there has been growing movement for gender equality in the country. This movement has been driven by a number of factors, including the increasing participation of women in education and the workforce, the rise of feminist activism, and the passage of laws and policies that promote gender equality. As a result of these changes, there is a growing recognition of the rights and capabilities of women in the Philippines. Women are now more likely to be seen as equal partners in society, and they are increasingly taking on leadership roles in all sectors of life.